cuộc đời này đã bay cao trên vòm trời đầy, rồi nằm xuống không bạn bè, không có ai, không có ai từng ngày, không có ai đời đời dù anh ngủ vùi. Mùa mưa tới trong nghĩa trang này có loài chim thôi. Anh nằm xuống cho hận thù vào lãng quên, tiễn đưa nhau trong một ngày buồn. Đất ôm anh đưa vào cội nguồn, rồi từ đó trong trời rộng đã vắng anh như cánh chim bò rừng, như trái tim bò tình. Nơi đây một lần nhìn anh đến những xót xa đành, nói cùng hư không. Bạn bè còn đó anh biết không anh, người tình còn đây anh nhớ không anh. Vườn cỏ còn xanh, mặt trời còn lên khi bóng anh như cánh chim chìm xuống. Vùng trời nào đó anh đã bay qua, chỉ còn lại đây những sáng bao la. Người tình rồi quên, bạn bè rồi xa. Ôi tháng năm những dấu chân người cũng bụi mờ. Anh nằm xuống như một lần vào viễn du, đứa con xưa đã tìm về nhà. Đất hoang vu khép lại hẹn hò, người thành phố trong một ngày đã nhắc tên những giấc mơ lừa đạn, những máu xương chập trùng. Xin cho một người vừa nằm xuống thấy bóng thiên đường cuối trời thênh thang. Vùng trời nào đó anh đã bay qua, chỉ còn lại đây những sáng bao la. Người tình rồi quên, bạn bè rồi xa. Ôi tháng năm những dấu chân người cũng bụi mờ. Anh nằm xuống như một lần vào viễn du, đứa con xưa đã tìm về nhà. Đất hoang vu khép lại hẹn hò, người thành phố trong một ngày đã nhắc tên những giấc mơ lừa đạn, những máu xương chập trùng. Xin cho một người vừa nằm xuống thấy bóng thiên đường cuối trời thênh thang.
fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who'll jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret. Silver wings up on their chest, these are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat, hand to hand, men who fight by night and day, courage take from the Green Beret. Silver wings up on their chests, these are men, America's best. 100 men will test today.
Dạ, ông có muốn nói gì với lại các cô đầu bếp đặc xã phục vụ thức ăn hôm nay hay không?
No, later. But these are the cooks, so all you have to do is say something about the cook, because without food, we're not going to be able to do anything. Okay.
Dạ.
So, chị muốn nói câu gì?
Dạ. Tại vì hôm nay là cái hội của em là tổ chức được vinh dự tổ chức cái ngày lễ tưởng niệm này. Cái này là mình không những mình tưởng niệm những người đã mất tích mà mình còn tôn vinh những cái sự hy sinh của họ nữa và đồng cảm với tất cả người thân của những người đã mất tích ngày hôm nay, nên hội em mới tổ chức cái buổi lễ này.
Yeah. So she was saying that it's an honor for them to have this ceremony for the PAW, the prisoners of war, and also missing in actions, and also to celebrate their families together today. And so chị hỏi cái gì nữa không?
Nói chung là năm nay là hội em chính thức là được gia nhập vô National, nên cũng là first time tụi em tổ chức cái lễ tại hội và cũng là được vinh dự thị trưởng đã đến dự cái lễ hội này. Dạ, thì mong rằng là những năm sau nếu như hội em tổ chức thì ổng cũng sẽ tham dự và muốn cho ổng đắc cử thêm lần thứ 2.
So this is the first year that they actually go national. So it's their honor to hold the event here in San Jose, and they wish you the best of luck for your next campaign.
Yeah.
And they wish that you'll be our next mayor.
Yeah.
Once again.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you mấy chị.
Công dân ơi đứng lên đáp lời sông núi, đồng lòng cùng đi xin cái gì hơn sao, vì tương lai không dân cùng sống và khói lên, làm sao cho núi sông từ nay luôn vững bền, cho thấy vơi trên gương giá.
Nhưng không đến được bến bờ. Và ta cũng không quên 53.000 chiến sĩ Hoa Kỳ đã hy sinh tại chiến trường Việt Nam.
Moment of silence to commemorate more than 58,000 U.S. military personnel who have started fighting for our peace and freedom during the war, and thousands more were missing or imprisoned until now. At the same time, millions of Republican Vietnamese GI soldiers and civilians were killed in the entire war and after.
And 2024. VVA President Mr. Warren Finch, Vice President Mr. Gene Hanuki, Secretary Treasurer Mr. Stephen Thompson, Sergeant at Arms Mr. Jeff Driscoll, from AVVA President Mr. Kang Dong, Vice President Secretary Mrs. Tu Thuy, Treasurer Mr. Alexander Cao, Sergeant at Arms Mr. Trung Trân, welcome honored guests, Mr. Otto Lee, Santa Clara County Supervisor,
Mr. Domingo, Desert District Aide. Please stand up.
San Jose Mayor Mac Mahan, and his assistant, Mrs. Harandang. Council member for District 8 in the city of San Jose, Mr. Domingo Candela. And his assistant, Miss Hilly Nguyen. Local radio station 1500 AM, Mrs. Haven. Founder of Eagle Foundation, Mr. and Mrs. Doug Borrell. Former major in Republic of Vietnam, Armed Forces. Santa Clara County Supervisor, Mr. Otterly. Former major in Republic of Vietnam, Armed Force, Mr. Vo Van Si. Documentary filmmaker, Mr. Matthew Werkler. New York financial advisor, Mr. Sung Cha.
Mr. Jin Funuki, the VBA Vice President. Okay, thank you. Mr.
CEO.
Jeff Dunstan, the Sergeant at Arm of VBA. Mr. Lam, the VBA member. Mr. Arnold, the captain of CB, VBA member. Mr. Dennis Pogge. Oh. And what we have,
CEO, Mr.
the representative of the vet center, please. Okay. Mr. Peter, the CEO of Marathon.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay.
Well, I'm pretty bad with the names, so I maybe missed some of the gentlemen there. Please, my apologize. Thank you. Okay.
Okay, please welcome VVA President delivery a speech.
All right.
I want to thank everybody and thank you, Kangas, especially for inviting me to come here and speak.
Thank you.
I had to rush down here, and it turns out I didn't have to rush as much because Kane was going to hold it for me. He said that y'all would have to wait for lunch until we were done. So if I talk too long, it's my fault or Kane's fault. I don't know. But I was down at DAR and Gilroy this morning to speak to them. They asked me to come down and speak. They told me they had a lot of people speaking about Vietnam, so they wanted me to talk about Iraq. So for those of you that don't know, I was also in Iraq for 6 months. But as far as Vietnam goes, I spent a year and a half there. And as it was mentioned, the number of soldiers, sailors, all that died in Vietnam. I looked it up this morning just to get the exact numbers. There are more than 80,000 American service personnel that are still missing from all the wars. The Defense POW-MIA agency remains relentless in their efforts to try to locate any remains and repatriate them to the U.S. They say that they will not rest until they can get everybody home that they can find. The sad thing is there's only about 38,000 that they can confirm that they may be able to find out of 80,000. So the chances of trying to return all Americans back to U.S. soil is very slim. As of yesterday, the number of Americans missing and unaccounted for from Vietnam was 1,578. And as most of you know, our namesake, Darwin J. Thomas, they found the crash site for him, but they had not been able to confirm any remains yet. The last time we talked to Darwin's sister, they haven't been able to confirm that before they can return any remains. However, once that happens, if they do find something that they can return, or we can have a ceremony, you can bet that VBA and AVBA here will have a big ceremony. We'll let you know about it. One thing that they said on the website that I was looking at is that accounting for all the missing is never possible. It may never be possible. But they're working as hard as they can to find what they can. Anything that they can say that this is some of the remains of a person. And the sad thing is, as long as it's been, it may only be fragments, especially from some of the crashes. But they want to return people to the U.S., at least be able to give them a dignified burial so the family knows what happened and where they were. And they want the information that anybody has, obviously. If you know anything, you get a hold of the Defense Department. But if you're like me, you probably don't remember too much about Vietnam except some of the bad stuff anyway. But if anybody knows anything, that any possible crash sites, anything that you might know would help. And I want to thank you for being here to honor our MIA and POWs. We have some people that were POWs, both on our side and ones that were in the re-education camps, basically a POW. So we have POWs on both sides. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Warren. If you believe in the great coincidence, 50 years ago, he was stationed in the same city I stationed. I was in the 5th Special Force, and he's in the 4th Division of the infantry, and he's a pilot of the slip. And we met again in the same battle. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, discussing using guests and the fellow delegates. Today, we gathered to honor and remember a group of individuals who exemplify the unwavering spirit of sacrifice, courage, and resilient life. Our prisoner of war and those missing in action on the solemn occasion of National MIA Recognition Day. As we come together, it is important to acknowledge that behind every strategy and every solemn ceremony, there are the real people, real family, and real story of heroism and hurt action. These brave men and women answer the call of the duty, leaving behind the comfort of the home and defend the freedom we hold dear. We remember those who endured the unimagined hardship in the enemy captivity. faced the physical and mental torment, yet their spirit remained unbroken. They found a strength in camaraderie, often invent the creative way to communicate it and keep hope alive. The sacrifice reminds us of the extraordinary resilience of the human spirit when cast under the harshest circumstances. We also play tribute to those who never returned to the mission in action. Their fate remained unknown, leaving void in the life of their loved one and can never truly be filled. For his family, the agony, the certainty is a constant companion, but they too, through the unwavering hope of determination, exemplify the true meaning of resilience. The significance of this day extends beyond more remembered. It calls upon us to recommit ourselves to the cause of the bringing our mission hero home. Every flag we raise, every moment of the silence we observe, and every story we share serve a powerful reminder of our solemn obligation to keep searching for, never give up, to bring out closer to those families who still wait but POW-MIA recognition. Day is not just about looking back, it's about looking forward. It's our answer that the value of those heroes found the freedom, democracy, and justice continue shine brightly in our nation. It's about the understanding that they sacrifice were not in vain, but rather testament to the endurance of the spirit of America. So on this day, let us not only remember our prisoner in war and mission in action, but also renew our commitment to support our veterans and ensure that they receive the care and respect they deserve. Let us reaffirm our dedication to upholding the principle of which they sacrifice so much. In closing this, let us carry the memoir of the POW and MIA in our heart, and many of their sacrifice inspire us to be better citizens, better Americans, and better human beings. Let us honor them not just with words, but with action.
Let me translate in Vietnamese for our members, because most of it, really appreciate it. Hôm nay chúng ta gặp tập hợp để tôn vinh và tưởng nhớ một nhóm cá nhân tiêu biểu cho tinh thần hy sinh, lòng dũng cảm và sự kiên cường không ngừng nghỉ. Những tù nhân chiến tranh và những người mất tích trong chiến tranh. Nhân dịp long trọng ngày công nhận POW-MIA quốc gia này, khi chúng ta họp lại với nhau, điều quan trọng là phải thừa nhận rằng đằng sau mỗi số liệu thống kê và mỗi buổi lễ long trọng đều có những con người thật, những gia đình thật, những câu chuyện thật anh hùng và đau lòng. Những người đàn ông và phụ nữ dũng cảm này đã đáp lại lời kêu gọi của nghĩa vụ, bỏ lại những tiện nghi như ở nhà để bảo vệ những quyền tự do mà chúng ta yêu quý. Chúng ta tưởng nhớ những người đã phải đối mặt với sự
gian khổ và không thể tưởng tượng nổi khi bị kẻ thù giam cầm. Họ phải đối mặt với sự dày vò và thể xác và tinh thần. Những nhân tinh của họ vẫn không hề suy sụp. Họ tìm thấy sức mạnh từ tình bạn đồng nguồn và những cách sáng tạo để giao tiếp và duy trì sự hy vọng. Sự hy vọng của họ nhắc nhở chúng ta về sự kiên cường, phi thường của tinh thần con người khi bị thử thách trong những hoàn cảnh khắc nghiệt nhất. Họ đã tìm ra phương cách. Chúng tôi cũng bày tỏ lòng kính trọng đối với những người không bao giờ quay trở lại, những người mất tích. Số phận của họ vẫn chưa được biết đến, để là một khoảng trống trong cuộc đời của những người thân yêu của họ mà không bao giờ có thể thực sự lấp đầy được. Đối với những gia đình này, nỗi đau đớn và sự không chắc chắn là bạn đồng hành thường xuyên. Nhưng họ vẫn bằng niềm hy vọng và quyết tâm không lay chuyển thể hiện ý nghĩa thực sự. Ý nghĩa của ngày này vượt xa sự tưởng nhớ đơn thuần. Nó kêu gọi chúng ta tái cam kết với mục tiêu đưa những anh hùng mất tích của chúng ta về nhà. Mỗi lá cờ chúng ta gương cao, mỗi khoảng cách im lặng mà chúng ta quan sát và mỗi câu chuyện chúng ta chia sẻ đều đóng vai trò như một lời nhắc nhở mạnh mẽ về nghĩa vụ quan trọng của chúng ta là tiếp tục tìm kiếm, không bao giờ bỏ cuộc và mang lại sự kết thúc cho những gia đình vẫn đang chờ đợi. Nhưng Ngài công nhận POW, MIA không chỉ là để nhìn lại, đó là về việc mong chờ, đó là việc bảo đảm rằng những giá trị, những anh hùng này đã đấu tranh vì tự do, dân chủ và công lý tiếp tục tỏa sáng rực rỡ trên đất nước chúng ta. Đó là sự hiểu biết rằng sự hy sinh của họ không phải là vô ích, mà là minh chứng cho tinh thần bền bỉ của nước Mỹ. Vì vậy vào ngày này, chúng ta không chỉ tưởng nhớ các tù nhân chiến tranh và người mất tích, mà còn nhắc lại cam kết hỗ trợ các cựu chiến binh của chúng ta, đảm bảo rằng họ nhận được sự quan tâm và tôn trọng họ đáng được có. Chúng ta hãy tái khẳng định sự cống hiến của mình trong việc duy trì các nguyên tắc mà vì nó mà họ đã hy sinh rất nhiều. God bless America, God bless us all.
Sorry, there's some recommendation certificate that have to be delivered to our organization. So, Mr. Otterly, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Otterly, your county supervisor, although I don't look like it. I just, in my retired Navy uniform, I served 28 years in the United States Navy, also served in various places around the world, including 12 months in Iraq, that was mentioned earlier, during the Gulf War. And obviously we have now returned from Afghanistan, from Vietnam, from Iraq, but the sad truth is that we still have many people, many individuals who are still not accounted for. My daughter asked me and says, what does Pow&Mia means? So for those who might not know what those initials mean, POW stands for Prisoners of War. And MIA stands for Mission, Missing in Action. And what does that really mean is that every Sunday on our Navy ship, for example, besides raising the United States flag, we also raise the POW-MIA flag, because we do one thing, and that is we never forget. We never forget that sacrifice, never forget those who are out there, because we don't leave our comrades in harm's way. We bring them home, dead or alive. We want to bring them home. We still do that in Korea. We still negotiating in Vietnam and try to bring everybody back from Iraq and Afghanistan. For those who are prisoners of war, they all live by this thing called the Code of Conduct that every American service member knows. There are 6 articles. I'm not going to read all of them to you, but I'm going to read a few that I believe is really important for us to remember. Article 1 says, I am an American, fighting in the forces which guard my country and our way of life. I am prepared to give my life in their defense. Article 3 says that if I am captured, I will continue to resist by all means available. I will make every effort to escape and aid others to escape. And I will accept neither parole nor special favors from the enemy. The reason I specifically want to mention this Article 3 is because of the fact that we had a very interesting story of our former Senator, Arizona Senator John McCain, who is one of our most famous heroes and was serving as a prisoner of war for over 5 years, as they euphemistically call the Hanoi Hilton. His father was one of the admirals, very influential member of the United States Navy at the time. He himself was a fighter pilot. His plane was shot down while flying in Vietnam. He was captured. And when they found out that he was the son of a famous admiral in the United States, they said, hey, you can go home. You don't have to stay.
Right.
Right? Remember that?
Right, I do.
And what did he say?
No, he's staying with his men.
I am not leaving until all my men are leaving with me. Right?
Right.
And that takes a lot of courage. By saying that, he stayed there for another 4 years of the treatment in the Hanoi Hilton. And I just want to say that because this is what we state on the Code of Conduct. I will accept neither parole nor special favors from the enemy. And I just want to mention that story for those who have not heard this, is the type of American fighting spirit that we have and how we have to take care of our people and to sacrifice their own freedom to make sure everybody else is also being taken care of at the same time. Of course, he's been released. He came back and served honorably as a senator from Arizona. We certainly missed him dearly. He passed away a few years ago. And I just want to tell a story because some people might not know about what it means to be a POW and the sacrifice that they have given. And for that same reason, we are here representing Santa Clara County to present this certificate commendation to the Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 201, for hosting this ceremony. VVA has remained steadfast in providing leadership, education opportunities, and assistance securing benefits from the Department of Veterans Affairs. And I know filling out that VA form for disability is a real challenge. And I thank those of you who are at the VSO doing this hard work every day to help our Vietnam veterans for securing benefits. Thank you so much for inviting me here today. It's truly my honor, and I would like to present this to, come on up.
Thank you.
And also, please welcome Council Member of District 8 in the city of San Jose, Mr. Domingo Cadilla.
Thank you. Mayor, would you come up here too? Thank you. You can kick us off there.
Okay. Thanks, Domingo. All right, we're here together. We'll avoid that speaker, hopefully. What are we picking up? Is it maybe that? Okay. My colleague, Councilmember Candelas, is going to bring up the commendation we have from the city. I'll just say a few words and then hand it off to Councilmember Candelas. And you know, Supervisor Lee just talked about that code of conduct. And I think it's worth noting that being a soldier, being a public servant, committing to something larger than yourselves, to our Constitution, to those eternal ideals, is a way of life. And I'm reminded of that basically every day in our city. We have the opportunity to go around the city to a range of different events. Just last weekend, I was at a couple of cleanup events where we were cleaning up an on-ramp in District 5 and then an area in District 7. And you know who was out there at both of those? Well, there were some students out there getting their community service hours, but veterans. It's a group of veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan who came out to the on-ramp we were cleaning up in D5, and then a group of Vietnamese American veterans out in District 7, because our veterans keep showing up for each other, for our community, for our country, and expressing those highest values of self-sacrifice and service of others at great cost, including what we're talking about today, our prisoners of war, those who are missing in action. Clearly, what happened in Vietnam was a tragedy, but it was also a tragedy how so many of our veterans were received when they came back home. And I think that the least we can do is continue to support them as the VBA and the AVBA does, and so many other great organizations. Mr. Finch, it's great to have you here. Thank you for sacrificing and committing your life to serving those who have served. So I just want you to know, as mayor of a city of roughly 1 million people, that we're grateful to you. We're here to support you, and we thank you for your service and your sacrifice. And with that, I'll hand it over to my colleague, Councilmember Domingo Candelas.
Thank you, Mayor. I am Domingo Candelas. I have the privilege of representing Council District 8, the east side of San Jose. I wanted to give my sincere appreciation to the VBA as well as the AVBA, Mr. Kang Dong, for allowing us and inviting us into his home that he has dedicated to advancing the dedication and educating the community over the importance of the issues facing our veterans, our POWs, and the families that are affected from the service and the commitment to our great nation. So we've prepared a commendation. Mayor, would you please present this commendation to the Associates of Vietnam Veterans of America, Chapter 201.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. God bless America. God bless our troops.
Your smile's bigger. Well, our chapter, thank you very much, and I appreciate it for this recognition. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor. Appreciate it.
Here come manager of local radio station 1500 AM, Miss Harvin.
Thank you for inviting me here today. I'm really honored to be here, and also I appreciate so much the soldiers that help my country to be with our soldiers, and I know that every day we have a good life in the city, in the suburban, because someone out there sacrificed for our life. So I appreciate all the time since I was small, and I read the newspaper, and I always respect them, loving them, and support them, the Vietnamese and also the American allies, and all the Japanese and Korea, and everyone that helping us to have the peaceful life in the city of Vietnam. And right now in this country, we have a peaceful life here because someone sacrificed, someone keeping our border, someone taking care of our country. So we all have peaceful life here. Thank you so much for being here and inviting me here. Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to ask Mr. Jeff Driscoll to come to the missing table to do the ceremony.
Dr. Pick on that aircraft.
Okay. I'm really quite honored to do this ceremony. I've done it previously.
though it would have been nice to be notified more than 2 minutes before. It'll work out okay. What we're going to be doing a little bit differently as I go through this script that we've got, as I go down to the way the table is set, it's going to be translated in Vietnamese line by line. Okay, so this, you know about this? The initial one and then, yeah, you. Okay, so with that, I would ask everybody to please. Okay, here we go. Before you sit at the table, reserved in honor our missing brothers, comrades in arms, it is set for one. But the empty place represents those Americans held captive as prisoners of war, and those still missing, as listed as missing in action from each of the 5 U.S. military services: Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard, and American civilians. This honors ceremony symbolizes that they are with us here in spirit. Some were very young when they went into the military and were sent into combat. However, all Americans should never forget the brave men and women who answered our nation's call and served the cause of freedom in a special way. The U.S. military is full of tradition and symbols, and this missing man table has a very special meaning. I would like to explain this special table. The table is to show our everlasting concern for our missing men. Remember them.
Và người đàn ông mất tích.
The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to duty. Remember them.
Cái bàn để quan tâm thể hiện vĩnh cửu của chúng tôi. Khăn trải bàn tượng trưng cho sự thuần khiết trong động cơ của họ.
The chair is empty, for they are missing.
Cái ghế trống rỗng.
But forever in our thoughts and hearts, remember them.
Trong trái tim chúng ta lúc nào cũng tưởng nhớ đến họ.
A slice of lemon on the plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in foreign lands. Remember them.
Một lát chanh để nhắc nhở chúng ta về sự số phận cay đắng của họ.
A pinch of salt on the plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears endured by those missing and the families who seek answers. Remember them.
Muối tượng trưng cho nước mắt của gia đình họ.
The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share today with us. Remember them.
Cái ly bị đảo ngược để tượng trưng cho sự việc họ không thể chia sẻ ngày hôm nay.
A single red rose, displayed in a vase, reminds us of the life of each of the missing and their loved ones and friends of these Americans who keep the faith, awaiting answers. Remember them.
Bông hồng đỏ nhắc nhở chúng ta về gia đình và người thân yêu của họ. Ngọn nến tượng trưng cho sự hy vọng vĩnh cửu.
The candle is lit in the hopes that the flame that burns can provide a beacon of light and hope for them to follow home and maybe always keep it shining for them. Remember them.
Ngọn nến đốt lên để cho quan tâm đến sự vĩnh cửu của họ và mời họ trở về để nhập tiệc ngày hôm nay.
I would like to ask you all please to stand for a moment of silent prayer.
Xin mời tất cả đến đây. Xin một phút mặc niệm.
Cover.
Xin một niệm. Chấm dứt.
Let us now raise a toast in honor of America's POW MIAs and to the success of our efforts to bring them home. Never forgotten, always remembered. Thank you very much.
Surprisingly, this ceremony is closing, but I will ask or associate to have the word they will to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for our chapter. First of all, you want to know how this chapter was found? Hey, Mr. Randall, you see that gentleman sit on that wheelchair there? He's the one that connect me to the VBA, which we call the mother organization, who sponsor our organization to be founded. So yeah, Mr. Randy Whitman, he can stand up. I was going to ask him. My apologies. Anyway, for 17 years, he stick with us. Since he was still walking, still running marathon every year, but now, because of the age and the sickness, you can see he's in the wheelchair now. But thank you, and thank you very much for what you did. Ladies and gentlemen, I gathered here today, and I would like to have the opportunity that thanks God we had this organization for 17 years now, and we never have to do any kind of raising fund, and also we don't get no fund from the government or the local city or anything. So how we do that? We had all the great members and the support and the friends. For 17 years, they helped us to cremate and send the cremation back to the Vietnam 60 or not 70 persons who live in this, who fled from our country to this USA without any relative to accompany. So you know how that is. When you pass away in some welfare building or housing, maybe a couple of weeks before you can be found. And those relatives don't even know, or they probably don't have any. And there's no way they can do the last rite for them. That is the funeral. And we, the Asian, is a little bit different from the Western people. The Western people respect and value the birthday more important, but we respect and value our day is more important, and especially they can happily remain. So that's why whenever we cremate them, we bring back to here, and I try to communicate with the people if they have any back to our country. And if there's one or two, then we will send those cremated as back to our country. Thank you very much. We did that. And, 17 years, we work close together with our U.S. military veterans now. You know why? Because since I'm 15 years old, I would work with the U.S. And I only joined in the special force when I'm 18 years old. And I see many deceased from the military, U.S. military, and I don't want to tell you about that. They're not nice to talk about that. And that's why my heart, my soul, always feeling for them. So when I got here on 1990, I think about I have to do something for my old compatriots while we're in the battle. So that's what this organization is about. Most of our VBA people, they love me. When they're talking about me, you know, they know that that's another what we call the partner, the camaraderies or whatever, because we share the blood and tears during the battle. Real blood and tears. Sort of what's going on. And lots of things I really appreciate it and honored to welcome you all here. Thank you very much for coming. You know, I'm 70-some-year-old now, and I don't know, but we have another opportunity. I can talk to all of this crazy people. Well, with that kind of thing, I would like to share the little entertainment with you and maybe say something that why I was in a special book. Green Beret.
The ceremony and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love's put me at the top of the world. On the top of the world, looking down on creation, and the only explanation I can find is the love that I found ever since you've been around. Your love put me at the top of the world. You're going right now. Okay, rồi chào. Thank you.
Trong chiều một đoàn quân thấp thoáng núi cây rừng lắng tiếng nghe hình dáng của người anh hùng lạnh lùng theo trong rừng trên khu đồi nước êm trong chiều buồn ra bên khu trong một chiếc sương âm u âm thầm trên khói mù bao oan khiên đang về đây hú với gió là hồn người nam nhớ thù đi ra đi đã quên vô tình rừng trầm phai sắc ngập thoáng tàn cây hỡi người chiến sĩ vô danh. Trong một chiều sương âm u âm thầm trên khói mù bao oan khiên đang về đêm hú với gió là hồn người nam nhớ thù đi ra đi đã quyết trên núi cam hờ muôn lời tiếng còn vang quân một cường gần mang đến phút chiến thắng sau hận đời đã tan đường anh linh đã bao lần vây máu không xa xây thành thời gian luôn vô tình rừng trầm phai sắc khắp hoang tàn cây hỡi người chiến sĩ vô danh rừng trầm phai sắc khắp hoang tàn cây hỡi người chiến sĩ vô danh.
Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who'll jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men of the Green Beret. Silver wings up on their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat, hand to hand, men who fight by night and day, courage take from the Green Beret. Silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Back at home, a young wife waits. A young wife's waiting. Her green beret has met his fate. He's met his fate. He has died for those oppressed, leaving her his last request. But silver wings on my son's chest make him one of America's best. He'll be a man test one day, have him win the Green Beret, have him win the Green Beret.